Hey.
Hey, hey,
Hello,
hey.
hello. What's going on this week, everybody?
Finals week.
Oh,
Yeah, it's fun. Lots of essays, lots of finals. And what else? It's a little stressful. It's a little stressful.
Just a little, huh?
well, you're the teacher rather than the
Yeah,
student.
but there's a lot of noise, a lot of Mr. Merlino, can I turn in? Is this okay? It's just all these last minute things that I could just say no last minute work, but you know, that would I don't do that. So so yeah, it's just a little stressful. That's all. It's a little small price to pay. I'm learning how to manage it. If they come into the room with like 50 questions, I have a sign on the board that says, email Mr. Merlino your questions. Yes, he's right in the back of the room, but he can't talk to you right now. If you email it to him, you will have it. He will get back to you very quickly and not be stressed out because it's
So
just a lot of voices. That's all.
remind me, like, what topics you teach?
Well, they just finished. I'm an English teacher, so they just finished reading in my sophomore class the memoir Night, which is an Auschwitz survivor memoir, and they also watched the film Jojo Rabbit, and they're doing they just finished a comparative essay, similar compare and contrast essay, and my seniors just what did they do? They finished reading The Glass Castle, which is another memoir of a fascinating, wonderful story. I've read it several times of someone growing up basically homeless and with brilliant, incredibly negligent parents, um, who are on the one hand so full of love and well, at least the dad, very loving, um, but just irresponsible and troubled by demons, and they literally they're always doing what he calls the skedaddle, which is
Mm.
the feds are after us. Get in the car middle of the night, and drive away. And really, it's just bill collectors, right? But
Mm.
he's and he's just he spins yarns, and yeah, it's a fabulous story. But they live in the most squalid. The older they get, his alcoholism progresses, and they live in the most bizarrely squalid conditions. Like they move into this place where the kitchen, they have to give a weather report for the kitchen every morning, not only because if it's raining it's probably got a waterfall in it, but because the electricity, if you touch the wrong thing, you might get a severe jolt. And so it's like, uh, stove's hot today. Don't touch stove without gloves or with a sock on your hand. It's like wow. But these kids, they make it. At least 3 out of 4 do, and obviously one of them's a
Spoilers,
very
Steven.
successful writer. So, well, I mean, you. Sorry. Yeah, it's fascinating survivor story and also just a story of resilience, and it's a very complicated look at love and families. It's
It
wonderful.
sounds devastating, and I really need to be in the right mood to read something
Mm.
that's like devastating.
I end up finding it inspiring. It is. I'm pretty sensitive to that stuff. I couldn't finish. I tried to read In Cold Blood recently because I felt like I should, and I like other things that Truman Capote's written. I couldn't deal with it. I don't want to see what happens. I know what happens. Everybody knows the story. I don't want to see what happens. I'll just keep it abstract. I put the book down. I'm not going to read it. It's weird. I've never been like a wimp about what I read, but I sure am now for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. Um.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
read stuff like The Road, no problem. I mean, it might make me cry, but it doesn't ruin me. But something about In Cold Blood. I mean, that is just, yeah, I don't know.
There's something about the scene in Jojo Rabbit with the boots. Have you seen Jojo Rabbit? Like, that scene with the shoes.
Oh,
That
yeah,
scene just really
it's
gets me.
brutal.
It just
Yeah,
devastates me.
I have to give a trigger warning before that scene every time.
But yeah, otherwise great movie and like really funny, but like none of the funny is what my brain remembers. I just
Oh,
remember that
really?
one scene and my brain's like, nope, stay away. Too devastating.
Yeah, it's hard. It blindsides you too because it is so
Mm.
incredibly funny. My God, some of the lines in it. It's like, you know, and that scene where he throws the hand grenade and it bounces up and lands right in front of him, just like he memes him.
Yeah.
And then the comments people make the rest of the movie are just like, you know, someone says, what happened to your face? Now, there's no need to criticize his hideous deformity. You know,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah. It's got my the second funniest Hitler I've seen.
second funniest. Which one's funniest?
Oh man, why am I blanking on his last name? Mel Springtime for Hitler
Huh?
producers. Mel
Not
Brooks.
Mel Brooks, really?
Yeah.
I've
I
never
thought he
heard of
did the
this.
funniest Hitler.
Springtime for Hitler?
That's the musical that they try to produce, you know, that's a surefire flop and instead becomes a hit.
So it's in what film? What's the name of the film?
The producers.
Producers. Okay. I'll check that out. Oh my God. Give me one more little Heil. Just one for old time's sake. Oh, one Heil.
Yeah. So what do finals look like then? Do they have to write essays? Do they have to answer questions about these books or?
They can. It varies. This year, what I'm doing is we do. I love vocabulary. I'm a word nerd, and I try to make that an interesting thing. And I have a really good system for them learning words. And we just did a 120 word final. You know, it was just a big old multiple choice. It's pretty easy. Everybody passes it. Not everybody. There's always people who don't, but the ones who you know are passing the class already, or they all pass it, and a lot of them ace it. But it takes most of the period for some of them. So, and I adjust things for people who don't speak English at home, because hell, if I would be able to learn college words, you know, in freaking Spanish if I were going to school there. So, you know,
That's kind of you.
I balance it, but it's yeah, and teachers do all kinds of different stuff. I've done in-class essays, you know, crank out this essay, here's your topic, you know, you've got an hour. That's not something post-COVID kids are really ready for. There's I have to really scaffold an essay, how to write an essay. And
Oh, really?
It's bad enough that like at least half the class couldn't do it without me holding their hand through it paragraph by paragraph. So I'm going to stick with that, and they're going to write something. God, you guys are probably so bored. This is boring. They're going to write about something that they love in life and tell me all about it. And so that the content isn't a challenge for them, and it's just the how to structure an essay part is the only part that'll.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun to read too, you know, like they'll tell me about freaking video games I've never heard about, and you know, stuff like
you just want to read the video
Warframe.
game essays.
No, I mean some kids, I mean they have wonderful. This one kid's a freaking gold panner. He goes up in the woods every weekend and pans in a random stream with his waders on, you know. It's awesome. He's like knows so much about geology and gold panning. Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
Waterproof metal detector. He goes into stream beds with it after storms, you know. And
has he
really,
found gold?
Yeah, I mean, not much, but you know, he's a rookie. He will someday. You know, it's like anything else. If you put enough time in, it's like fishing. You put enough time in, you'll come home with fish. But
yeah, I instantly imagine like a kid just blinged out in gold jewelry, and you're like, yo, take that off. And he's like, yo, I dug this up myself from the ground. Got it crafted into jewelry.
Yeah.
So, like the only follow-up question I want to ask you though is about COVID years. So, you know, based upon what you kind of remarked, I'm just curious. Like, do you notice? Is there something like striking about the classes pre-COVID and post-COVID? Like you noticed?
I kind of don't want to say it on screen because I'm not sure these kids are even aware of it, and it might be
interesting.
Sad to hear it.
Okay.
I mean, because you know everybody knows that you look at the scores, and you know there's a huge. They lost a couple of years of school basically, and everybody came out weird at the end. I came out weird. You know, I'm like, I don't like to go out and see people anymore. Where the hell did that come from? I mean, I've always been introverted, but now I'm like, hey, my wife will say, there's a cool thing going on Friday night. And I'm like, yeah, but stay at home, chill. You know, it's like, God, come on, go do something. Go have an
We could go
experience.
out, or we could stay at home.
We could just chill with the dog. Yeah. And so, and for kids, they were freaking in their bed on their phone for 2 years. Well, for a year, let's say. That's going to mess up anybody.
Mhm.
They're just a lot shyer, quieter. If I were a comedian or an actor, it'd be a dead house. It's a dead house. It's really hard to, it's real different. Not so much with the seniors, but the younger kids. Well, at least this year's seniors. No. Anyway, I don't know. It's a dead house, and it's sad. And they have way lower skills. Like they don't know
You
how
mean
to
like social
recognize.
skills?
That was true, very true. After the immediate year after, I had juniors who act exactly like 13-year-old boys. I had 17-year-old boys. Oh my gosh. And they're big, but they're acting like freshmen, like rambunctious, diving over tables because someone took their phone, always touching each other. Like it was just great. I had to like ban them from the classroom between classes because they were so loud. It was like a friggin' circus came in. And so, I mean, they were bonkers. And then now it just seems like everyone's really kind of just not a lot of energy coming back at you. They're just waiting for instructions and then they put their heads down. I don't know. It's or they're just staring at a phone, and you got to wrestle with that.
Yeah, because I imagine like a lot of their lives were online for a number of years, so they probably got used to that.
Yeah, that was their social life. I mean, in some ways, that was their social life, gaming with their friends or whatever. So I don't know. Yeah.
Enough with the downer.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I blame Yang Yang.
He
has a morbid
Look
curiosity. What?
Focus.
Who is
It's
that?
Cecilia.
Oh,
I don't think
There
of
we
her
go.
as a
did you get
dark-haired person.
wait?
Are you what?
It's the Playmobil.
Oh,
Right,
Cecilia. I was thinking of
that's why I
Amnesia.
was confused.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, what in the world is happening? She's never not been a dark-haired person.
Yeah, sorry.
That's very cute.
That does look like Cecilia.
So, and then it came with Sarshan kind of guy.
Oh, nice.
Red hair. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do for Mia, but we can have Mia Wolf meanwhile.
Well, is that a little jacket?
It's supposed to be like armor. It's got a little thing where somebody can hang on to it, or let's see if I can get their hand to
or carry her around like luggage.
No, actually it's not sized for the hand. It must be sized for there's different sort of like accoutrement that they can have that go on there, but the mouth is a hand, so it can hold anything that a Playmobil person can hold.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Where did you get these?
I mean eBay.
Oh, so you special ordered each one? You like?
Well, these were in a set together. They had a set for a while there that had, because they have a TV show or something. I've never watched it because I feel no need to, but there was like a set of characters with like the dark haired and the red haired that were in this like ice world or something, and they have a bunch of different play sets with them. So I got one of their play sets, and then this is, I forget which play set this came with, but it was some like werewolf like soldier thing from a long time ago. But
I see. That's cool.
I'm looking for one for Mia, but I may give up and just have her be Mia Wolf because none of them are correct. It's terrible.
It is Playmobil Lego?
No.
I don't think so.
Bite your tongue.
Ooh, sorry.
Do they do custom Playmobil?
I don't think so. The Lego was first, and then like Playmobil kind of, they're like, oh, it's just a Lego clone, but it really took it in a different direction. So like Lego is about building, and it has gone a little bit more towards sort of like miniatures and model trains kind of thing, where you're like making things as opposed to like building things. You're like replicating things, I guess is the right word.
Oh yeah. So you have to follow instructions. It's not like a sandbox where you can just do stuff.
Yeah,
That was
and Playmobil, there isn't necessarily instructions. You're sort of like, it's like I was talking to somebody, and we finally came up with was that it's kind of like a model railroad, where you have pieces that are all at the same scale, and you can kind of make tableau out of them. But you're not like constructing in the same way as Lego.
yeah, interesting.
So
Yeah, I know. I always get a little frustrated with Lego, the idea that you have to make it a certain way to, you're making an X-wing or whatever you're making,
mhm.
and then you just can't touch it anymore because a piece will get out of place or whatever. And I mean, it has to remain a model on a shelf, and you don't really play with it because if it gets broken, you're not going to know how to put it back or whatever. That's always
Yeah.
the way I felt. But I ended up when my kids were little, I went on eBay and I just bought giant boxes of random Lego pieces, and we'd build stuff that way. That's sort of what I grew up with. Was just make a cool thing out of Legos.
Well, I think that's Lego's strength. And the
Mm.
more they have like, Hogwarts Castle or whatever,
Yeah.
Like it's getting into the model where to get Hogwarts Castle, you have to make it like the correct way, as
Right.
opposed to just being like, here's a castle and you can make whatever kind of castle out of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like Playmobil's strength is that like you have, I don't know, what have they done? Well, they've done like Old West, and so you have the sheriff and the school marm and the general store or whatever. And so like you can kind of make this story with all those characters and the buildings and stuff. And like you're telling the story with the pieces, you're not trying to like build a model of them. The pieces are just like given to you. And so it's a totally different play experience. But like some people like that play experience, and some people prefer the take a bucket of Lego and make a thing kind of experience. And I think that the more Lego is like, yeah, we're making a, Hogwarts or whatever, the less it is its sort of core strength of the construction.
Yeah, I think the thing I really always missed about Lego when I was making it, usually I'd make like a spaceship or something, was that they didn't have, I'm sure they must have now, but they didn't have double-sided, so things with pips on both sides, so that I always had just like a flat thing on which to build, but I couldn't build anything on the underside because it was just flat plastic.
Yeah.
But it would have been so great to be able to build down then from the platform. Like if the platform was simply double-sided, that would have been really cool. I still remember being frustrated by that, just kind of like, this is really cool on the top, but the bottom's dumb. Looks like a milk crate. Yeah, Legos are awesome.
Do you watch the show?
The Lego show?
Masters? Yeah.
No, I'm unaware of it.
Yeah, there's 4 seasons now, and there's an Australian one that's apparently better. I need to watch that online.
So what is it? Just people making Lego stuff?
It's a competition show. So it's an American competition show. It's like they're not as cutthroat with each other as some of those are, but it's not like Great British Bake Off.
Okay, so it's the same thing though, where they get the ingredients and they say, okay, build us something. And they start going, oh, fun. That's cool.
Yeah, so that they built, let's see, there's been 4 seasons now. I think I've watched 3 of them. They built like cars to RC cars on, or cars on an RC chassis to like race them. And they built like models of different dog breeds. And they've built like volcanoes where they put like, play slime in them so that they had to have places for the play slime to run down. And they've done like floating boat builds and various stuff. they like it. It is a again American reality show, so they like doing things like they're like, okay, make a spaceship, but fill it with a color of bricks so that when we like smash it into this planet, then like the colored bricks like spray out on slow-mo. So they like smashing things, but
Huh.
um,
Okay.
so
Hmm.
I enjoy it. You have to sort of like ignore the like, this is the last chance for them to win or they'll be kicked off the show, and just be
Yeah.
like, look at the cool Lego thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
wonder if anyone's ever built a boat that would work for a human out of Legos. Like
I mean, I bet
that would be a really
people have
cool
done everything.
challenge.
Let's go
Yeah.
to the Googles.
Yeah, that would be a really cool challenge. Like make a coracle, just a little shield shaped boat just big enough to float a person with a paddle.
I just want to add real quick that Lantafanta, who we like sometimes play online D&D with, she was actually on Australia's Lego Masters for a season.
Oh,
She didn't win,
wow.
unfortunately. But
Oh,
if we ever want to talk about
cool.
Lego Masters Australia, we could get her.
That's awesome. Lantafanta?
That's her online name.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a million different YouTube uh or maybe it's many different YouTube videos about the same boats,
uh,
but people have built real Lego boats.
was it a competition?
I don't know.
Like a canoe, built a canoe. Oh my God. Just think how many Legos that would take.
Did somebody ever build a Lego house? Like a human-sized house?
Oh my God. Just imagine how dangerous that could be if
Yeah.
you really didn't know what you were doing. Hmm. That would be cool. What would the that would be really cool. Like what, but somebody's got to do that. Someone who's just like crazy, like a Hearst, build a Hearst castle out of Legos.
Yeah.
Um, hmm.
I mean, what's the coolest thing that you guys have seen in real life made out of Legos? Like personally?
Oh, no, I'm not gonna have anything interesting. I saw a cool X-wing. That was it.
They had
That's pretty cool.
I went to Disneyland, and at the Lego store outside in Streets of Disney or whatever, they had a cheetah or something, I think,
Ooh,
was up there.
That's pretty
that's
cool.
yeah.
One of my friends built a Link's shield from Ocarina of Time. Like it's like kind of life size.
A Link shield?
Link's
Oh, from
shield
Link. Yeah.
from
Okay.
Zelda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time.
Right on. Now, do I remember correctly that um, Baldur's Gate 3 was banned as a topic for chat?
At least
I
for a
mean, I think
while.
we've passed our cooldown period.
Oh, okay, good. Because I just started it and I'm enjoying it. I like it so much. It's like it has the part of D&D that I like so much, which is sort of the chess of it, where you got to think and you got to plan, because if you don't, you're not gonna make it. You're gonna die. And it's been a fun challenge, and I'm I don't know. I'm curious, meeting the new characters. I have all these people hanging out in my camp, and I'm not sure I'm ever going to use any of them. I did swap out. Lizelle for Karlak though, because
Karlak is awesome. Karlak was also the last character, but not the latest character to be added to Idle Champions.
Yeah, I heard
And
about
Trevor
that. Yeah,
got to write some Karlak dialogue, which is cool.
yeah, really cool. Anyway, I'm enjoying that. Haven't got up the first map yet. Keep getting my butt kicked by various things.
I think that that's the one thing that I like about the game is like how much there is to just do in every map. Like the joy of exploration is alive and well in Baldur's Gate 3. It really rewards you for like trying like really random things, like speak with animals and talking to all the animals, or like speak with dead, raising dead. Like it's not just a straight up like a looter fighter.
Yeah. I gotta use the speak with stuff more. Talk to a couple animals, but the dead, I haven't talked to any dead. I'm sure I could find out some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I
But
think the most delightful part is you're like, can I do this? And then you try it, and like something just ridiculous happens to reward you.
Yeah. Yeah. I made a bunch of I sold a bunch of stuff that's kind of important stuff later, I found out. And I don't know who I sold it to, and I don't know how to get it back. So if I ever
Well, time
will.
to start over.
Yeah.
So it is 6:26 right now.
Okay.
We
No.
do have to go to a break. So we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll see you soon with episode 21. Bye.
All right, bye.